The sound of clacking keyboards and ringing phones filled the office as Daniel Carter adjusted his tie, staring at the glowing screen in front of him. Spreadsheets, performance reports, sales data. He had seen it all 1,000 times. The work wasn't thrilling, but it was stable, and after years of military deployments, stability was a rare gift. Most people in this office saw him as just another employee, just another guy in a suit, moving through the motions of corporate life. What they didn't know, Daniel Carter had once led men through war zones, made life or death decisions in the blink of an eye, and faced dangers that would haunt most of them forever. But in this office, none of that mattered. Daniel wasn't bitter. He knew civilian life was different, and he didn't expect people to understand his past. He just wanted to do his job, provide for his family, and move forward. But some people wouldn't let that happen. It started as small things. His boss, Steve Randall, never liked him. A weasel in a tailored suit, Steve had made it clear from day one that he didn't think highly of Daniel. "Military guys don't always transition well, Carter," he had once said, smirking over his coffee cup, too used to taking orders instead of thinking for themselves. Daniel had bitten his tongue, resisting the urge to tell this soft-palmed corporate weasel that taking orders and thinking strategically under pressure was literally what kept him alive in war. Still, Daniel pushed through it. He worked harder, took on extra assignments, mentored younger employees, and even bailed the company out of a huge logistical disaster by applying his military problem-solving skills to their supply chain. But no matter how much he proved himself, Steve never gave him credit. And today, Daniel was about to find out why. At 9:47 a.m., Daniel's office phone rang. "Carter, in my office, now." Steve's voice was clipped, impatient. Daniel took a deep breath. Something felt off. When he walked into Steve's office, 2 HR reps were already there. Their expressions were unreadable, but Steve looked smug. Daniel immediately knew. This wasn't a promotion. It was an execution. Steve folded his hands on the desk. "We've decided to let you go." The words hit like a bullet. Daniel had been through a lot in life, but this came out of nowhere. "Excuse me? We're making some changes to the team. Unfortunately, your position is being eliminated." Daniel frowned. That didn't make sense. "Eliminated? But we just signed a contract with 3 new clients. We're expanding, not downsizing." Steve tilted his head, smirking like a man who thought he had everything under control. "Well, it's more about performance, Carter. You're just not a great fit." Daniel's jaw clenched. "Performance? My numbers are higher than half the team." Steve shrugged. "Look, I know you're used to questioning orders, but this isn't the military. This is business." And there it was. The real reason. Daniel leaned forward, his eyes locked onto Steve's. "This is because I'm a veteran, isn't it?" For the first time, Steve hesitated, just for a second, but it was enough. "Of course not," Steve said too quickly. "That would be illegal." Daniel exhaled, shaking his head. "You're making a mistake." Steve grinned, leaning back in his chair like this was some kind of game. "I doubt that. Pack your things." Daniel walked through the office, grabbing his few belongings while his co-workers whispered in confusion. People gathered near the break room, watching with wide eyes. His friend Liam hurried over. "What the hell happened?" "They fired me," Daniel said evenly. "What? On what grounds?" Daniel glanced toward Steve's office, then back at Liam. "Because I'm a veteran." Liam's eyes darkened. "Are you serious?" Daniel just nodded, keeping his expression calm. He wasn't going to make a scene, but someone else was about to. As Daniel walked toward the exit, Liam pulled out his phone and started typing furiously. Within minutes, a post went up. "My friend just got fired for being a veteran. Here's why this company is about to regret it." And with that, Daniel stepped out into the cold air, exhaling slowly. He had lost his job, but he had no idea that by the time the sun set, his name would be everywhere. And the war? It was just getting started. Daniel had no idea what was happening until his phone started vibrating non-stop. It started as a few messages, then dozens, then hundreds. By the time he got home, his phone was blowing up with notifications, and the first message that caught his eye was from Liam. "Dude, check Twitter. You just went viral." Daniel sat down, opening his laptop with a skeptical sigh. But the second he did, he realized Liam hadn't been exaggerating. The post about his firing had exploded. Thousands of shares, comments, retweets. Veterans from all over the country were furious. They really fired a Marine for being too disciplined? Are you kidding me? This company needs to be put on blast. Let's make sure they never get another military contract again. They don't want veterans? Fine, let's see how they like losing customers. It wasn't just angry veterans. It was civilians, business professionals, even news outlets. Within hours, #JusticeForCarter was trending nationwide. And then it got worse. The company's social media pages were flooded with outrage. People were calling the office, demanding answers. Clients were asking questions. The company tried to ignore it at first. Then they put out a generic corporate statement. But that only made things worse, because ex-employees started speaking out. I worked there for 5 years. Steve Randall always had it out for veterans. I was pushed out too, same reason, they just didn't say it to my face. And then, the final blow. A leaked internal email from Steve Randall himself. These military guys don't fit the culture. Too rigid, too serious. We need fresh talent, not guys who think they're still on a battlefield. That was it. The moment the entire country turned against them, the company's stock took a hit. Long-term clients cut ties. Major news stations picked up the story. And Steve Randall, he was fired in disgrace within a week. The CEO went into damage control, offering Daniel a confidential settlement and a public apology. But Daniel wasn't interested in a check. He went on national television instead. He didn't yell, didn't curse, didn't rant. He just told the truth. How so many veterans struggle to find work after serving. How so many companies discriminate against them without ever saying it outright. How he wasn't the first, just the first they got caught doing it to. By the time he was done speaking, millions of people were listening, and things started changing. Daniel was offered dozens of jobs, but he didn't take just any job. He joined a veteran-run company that valued his skills, and within a year, that company outperformed his old one. When a journalist asked him how he felt about what happened, he just smiled. They thought they were ending my career. They actually gave me a new purpose. And as for the company that fired him, they never recovered. Because when you mess with one veteran, you learn fast. You're messing with all of them.